Welcome back, guys. So this video is coming out on, I believe, on the day that Money in the Bank is airing. So I couldn't add any of the current or any of this year's Money in the Bank matches because they haven't happened as of the time of filming. But I just thought, and somebody suggested this, that let's have a look at my 10, maybe the 10 best. Let me know in the comment section, the 10 best, in my opinion, Money in the Bank ladder matches there has been so far. So a quick history. In 2005, Chris Jericho saw there were quite a few guys on the roster, quite a few decent mid-card talents that had nothing to do, the likes of him, Kane, Shelton Benjamin, and they had nothing to do at Mania. So they approached Vince McMahon, him and Brian Grewitz, and they came up with this idea, and it was originally supposed to be the winner gets a mystery, or not a mystery, anything they want, and Vince McMahon said, no, that's a bit too ambiguous. What if they just want the title? So it ended up becoming, what don't we do, they get a title shot. And this is how the match unfolded, and yes, it became its own pay-per-view. And let's talk about my 10 best Money in the Bank ladder matches. At number 10, we have the 2011 Money in the Bank match. This might be overshadowed by something that may have happened on the show, which might be a Dave Meltzer 5-star match, which of course is CM Punk versus John Cena. But this doesn't detract from this match itself. It had the usual suspects, the high-flying guys. But ultimately, what added to this match was Sheamus and Kane being added to do a couple of power moves with the smaller guys. Like, for instance, Sheamus did a massive powerbomb with Sin Cara through the ladder. Absolutely brilliant spot. But ultimately, the winner was the right guy, and the winner was Daniel Bryan. So before I get into number 9, I just want to throw out a quick caveat here. So my list is based purely on the match itself. I might mention what ultimately happened with the cash-in, but my ranking is not based on the cash-in or the subsequent title run or the subsequent failed cash-in. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just purely got to do with the match itself. But I might talk about what happened afterwards. So number 9, it's the 2017 men's ladder match, and this one had one particular spot in that was just absolutely incredible, and that was the Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, their little piece they did, which the fans absolutely lost their minds for, because that harkened back to their Wrestle Kingdom days, and just absolutely brilliant. And KO, he's one of the MVPs of the ladder matches, taking bumps wherever and whenever, through everything and just anything. Ultimately, the winner left a little bit to be desired. It was Baron Corbin, and his cash-in was less than successful, but that's not what this list is based on. It's based on the best matches. Number 8 is the Mania 24 ladder match. So the two guys that's absolutely the MVPs, KO is right up there, but it's John Morrison and Shelton Benjamin. They are the absolute MVPs of this match stipulation. And this match had the two of them just performing everything and anything. Even John Morrison had a ladder in his arms, and he did a moonsault with the ladder in his arms. And the winner, I mean, how could you complain? It started CM Punk's actual real ascent to the very, very top. Number 7 is the 2018 women's match. So the women's division at this point in time was extremely stacked. It's a pity most of them are not with the company anymore. But the women in this match, they threw everything at the wall to try and prove they were not just as good as the guys, but possibly even better. I'm not going to say the men or the women are better, but the women really gave it their absolute all. And one of my favorite female superstars, Alexa Bliss, got away with the victory, so I'm never going to complain about that. Number 6 is the 2016 Money in the Bank ladder match, and we had the 3 members of the Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, already ascended to the absolute top. This was Dean Ambrose's night. We of course had the usual guys, KO taking bumps everywhere, but ultimately this was all about Dean Ambrose, and we got a moment that will be treasured forever. Roman Reigns came into the show champion, Seth Rollins dethroned him, and Ambrose cashed in. All 3 members of the Shield champions on the same night. Number 5 is the 2021 men's match, and this was the usual guys again. It was KO and it was Morrison, just doing the most ludicrous things in this match you could possibly think of. What made this match fun is that the winner was truly unpredictable, but ultimately the winner was a feel-good moment, and this was just, it was Biggie's night. Number 4 is the 2007 Mania one, with the Hardy Boys were in it. Randy Orton, Edge, those 4 did the craziest spots you can think of. And of course there was the history with Matt Hardy and Edge that we're not going to talk about in this video because it's not about that. Jeff Hardy put him in a ladder match, and you you can be sure he's going to pull off the absolute craziest spots. But ultimately, winner, Mr. Kennedy, at the time, it was a great winner. Less said about his injury and how it was handled, but ultimately, it was a good winner for this match. And I must say, this match probably stole the entire Mania show. Number 3 is the 2014 one with the post-Shield breakup. So this was the first real pay-per-view, or not real, this was the first pay-per-view after the Shield breakup. Now, Roman Reigns, he was just inserted into the championship match where Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they had to scuffle for this match, the briefcase match, which the entire match revolved around Dean Ambrose trying to get even with Seth Rollins for breaking up the Shield, stabbing them in the back, and it was just a brilliant match. Seth Rollins winning, and ultimately, I know the cash-ins for this list doesn't matter, but how can you not just mention the heist of the century? Probably the 2 best cash-ins, 3, I would say. I'm deviating, but this is my list, so I can do what I want. Seth Rollins, Heist of the Century, Dolph Ziggler on Alberto Del Rio, and Edge, the first cash-in, is probably the 3 best cash-ins. Number 2 is the WWE Championship won in 2013. This was Daniel Bryan's start of his ascent to the very top. He started getting massive reactions, and he looked to have the match sealed, but there was a couple of, we wouldn't say interferences because they're part of the match, Curtis Axel and the likes of them. But ultimately, the Viper snuck in and he won, and you guys probably already know, Randy Orton's one of my favorites, so a Money in the Bank ladder match where he wins, I'm always going to rank it high. And number 1 from the list, you can probably guess, it's going to be the inaugural one. I believe that was at Mania 21. And just, you will always remember your first. And if this match wasn't successful, would we have had it at the subsequent Manias? Would we have had a spin-off pay-per-view with it? I don't think so. So this match had high stakes. And the MVP of this match has to be Shelton Benjamin. The things he did with ladders are things that humans shouldn't be able to do, but he still pulled it off in this match. And ultimately, as much as we despised him, it was the right winner. Edge, the ultimate opportunist, this is where that ultimate opportunist character really started, and he took 280 days to cash in, and was the whole spectacle of Vince McMahon coming out and announcing his cash in. And how can you just not have this as your top 3, if not your first? And this is my number 1. Hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing and let me know your top 10 favorite Money in the Bank matches. Until next time, peace.